The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid? Scream Queens, the unofficial Scream Queens internet radio show exclusively on Papi Chulo Radio. Today is Sunday, October 25th, 2015, and I'm your host, Papi Chulo. During tonight's broadcast, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of Scream Queens. Later on in the broadcast, get ready for a spoiler alert as we bring you the hit Fox series' casting scoops, spoilers, and ratings. So please allow me to welcome my fantastic co-host. First up, he's always up for a nice nap in a bathtub. It's Prince Rico Suave.
What up, what up, what up? Woo woo.
Just watch out for those plastic bags.
Nah, I don't bring bags in the bathtub. I could get my hair wet.
Okay. Next up, he's got a thing for banging older women on campus. It's Wilson Hammond Jr. What you know about
What's
that,
up,
Dean?
everybody? Yeah, I like those older ladies. That's right.
We believe it. And she loves a sexy slumber party and a game of spin the bottle because it's waxy. It's Priscilla.
Hi, everybody.
Damn,
Hopefully the spin is good.
Are you going to have to spin it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Wax is not a good taste. Apparently Wax Girl liked it.
Yes. On that note, let's jump into our recap of episode 106, which was titled 7 Minutes in Hell, and it aired on October 20th, 2015. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. After a tie in the presidential vote, Chanel opts to cede her presidency to Zayday in an attempt to survive the Red Devil's reign of terror. For her first act as new sorority president, Zayday decides to throw a Kappa slumber party in the house. However, the sisters soon discover that the house's doors and windows have all been locked from the outside. Fearing for her life, Chanel summons Chad and the rest of the Dickie Dollar Scholars to rescue her, only for Caulfield to be slaughtered with an axe by the Red Devil outside the house. The girls then play a game of truth or dare to try and determine who the killer is, which ends with Sam revealing that Chanel No. 3's father is Charles Manson. Angered but confused by her feelings for Sam, Chanel No. 3 orders her to take a nap in the bloody Kappa bathtub, where Sam is killed by the Red Devil. Soon after, Roger is also murdered, and Chad discovers a series of secret passageways underneath the house. Chanel and Zayday venture down and are confronted by the Red Devil, but narrowly escape. The next day, Wes tries to take Grace away from the university, but she refuses, claiming that her sisters need her. Both distraught by the murders of their significant others, Chanel No. 3 and Chanel No. 5 decide to make a pact to outlive Chanel, whatever the cost. Dun dun dun. So let's get everyone's initial reaction to 7 Minutes in Hell. We'll start off with Wilson, since you love the blood.
Yay, people got killed. Awesome. Yeah. Now, this didn't this episode didn't do much in the way of explaining who might be the killer or clearing that up. It actually convoluted our little web, but I'm happy 3 people got knocked off, and that's what I was waiting on. So cool by me. It's chugging along. It has its ups and its downs, but this episode it definitely got the bloody part that I was looking for. So I give it an 8 out of 10 this week.
Wow.
Nice.
Very nice. Mr. Prince.
High praise.
I'd like to say it was funny. It was funnier. You know how I like, for some reason, I love the humor in this. So it's funnier. I definitely am intrigued to still figure out who it is because as the story continues, I'm just thrown left and right on who I think it is. My choices switch like every 5 minutes. So I love how they're keeping me intrigued to kind of still figure out who the Red Devil is.
I think you're the Red Devil.
Online. I think I might be too. I ain't gonna lie. But I was a little pissed that they didn't have, how you gonna let us know that Gigi is a part of this and she wasn't in the episode once. I was like,
I don't know.
That bugged me. You know what I mean? Like the last episode you admit you have Gigi talking to the Red Devil. And in this episode she wasn't in not one scene. I was like, really? Really? You did that?
Priscilla, what were your thoughts?
You know what? The one person that wasn't in this scene? Pete. And I'm so glad he wasn't. He sucks all the fun out of shit. So I was just like,
do you like Grace when she's Pete-less?
Yeah. When she's Pete-less, she's funnier. So this episode was just way more funny, in turn. Although I will say, unlike all the other episodes that we've seen, it started off slower, more serious, whereas every other one kind of has a pop theme at the very beginning that's funny as hell. It took longer to get to that point, but like Wilson said, it's bloodier and it was just more. It had more to look at. It was more interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun episode. It's technically considered a bottle episode, which means that the series sort of takes place in one setting for the entire episode. Mm-hmm. This one setting was the Kappa Kappa house. So it was neat how they confined all of the main characters in the house and then started picking them off one by one, as our good friend Candle Girl would say. So I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. I thought it was fun. It definitely allowed us to get rid of some of the lesser characters so that the deaths can start actually feeling a bit stronger now, since soon some of our favorites are going to get picked off. So with that, let's get into the episode, and we started off the episode with the vote, and everyone was voting on who the president would be. The white marbles and the black marbles and poor Candle Girl. Which one's who's who?
Duh. Chanel is white and Zayday's the black marbles. Oh my God, Candle Girl, are you stupid?
Exactly. And she ends up having this really nice sort of exposition a bit on autism and whatnot, which was kind of neat how they threw that in. Mm-hmm. And then we see the votes, and for the first time ever in the history of the sorority, there's a tie. So we see Chanel, she ends up having a fit and all this kind of stuff, and she ends up, I love when she insults Chanel number 3, because it just comes out of left field. And it's so funny.
Fuck you. What? Why?
Exactly. And your pussy stinks.
Yes.
And everybody knows it. And then she's like, what? I love her reactions. Abigail Breslin is bringing it with her reaction shots. Mm-hmm. And so then she leaves, and we have the Chanels go up and comfort her, and then we find out that this is really just an elaborate scheme, that she's been watching all these, mafia films and documentaries, and she basically makes note that, the person that's in power is the one that everyone wants to whack. So she doesn't want to be the next one killed, so that's why she herself voted for Zayday. Plot twist.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So she comes down and basically makes peace with Zayday. And let's pause right here. What did we think of the election? Were you surprised that it was going to be a tie? Were you surprised that they were going to be co-presidents? And do you think that Chanel's scheme to stay alive will work?
I think so too. I think she will because, like, I don't know if we should discuss it now or later, but I guess now that Chanel did have a run-in with the Red Devil, and she got helped by Zayday, and Zayday in turn helped her. So they work well as a team. She only kind of wishes that, damn it, maybe if Zayday had won, like, it just would have been targeted on her, and she would have survived. Her plan is really awe-inspiring. Good on her.
It's a good idea. Like it could possibly, you could see where it might work, but I think it did kind of backfire when there was the tie. Didn't entirely take her out of the picture, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting how it ended up being a tie. I honestly thought Zayday was just going to walk away with it for some reason, but of course we know we couldn't have Chanel not have any power at all. So I think it's an interesting twist. Like you said, they do work really well together. So that's also kind of interesting because we still, like I said, our whole Red Devil web is getting more twisted. So if they're working together now, and we know Chanel 3 and 5 are working together now, it just kind of adds to that whole, like, who could actually be working together but not actually in the suit thing. But it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, I definitely did too. I did see the tie coming. I just didn't know the tie was going to end with them both being in charge. I thought it was going to be a tie, but then Chanel gets to keep the title type thing.
Didn't they say that, like, in the last episode?
That's what I thought they said the last time. If it was a tie, that the reigning person keeps the title. So I just assumed it was going to be a tie and Chanel was going to keep it. Like a tie, they'd be like, oh, Zayday, you were this close. But, you know, Chanel keeping power because, come on, Chanel was not ever going to lose the Kappa power. When you think of the Kappas, you think of the Chanels, not Zayday, the new black. Like the Zaydays and Grace is like, no, you think of the Chanels. So there had to be a
Maybe
reason.
Candle Girl will be Zayday number 2.
Oh, God.
Well, no, that would technically be Grace.
No, that would be Grace.
Candle Girl would be like Zayday number 8.
Yeah, because Zayday number 3, would be crazy ass Leah Michelle's character.
Right.
Hester, yes, crazy ass Hester.
She started bleaching her skin and shit. Tanning, I meant. So she could just be like, Zayday, look, Zayday, I tan. I'm going to be as dark as you.
Oh my God, kiss ass entirely. She totally would do that.
Too fucking much. Good grief.
Yeah.
Poor Hester. Okay, so...
Hester, poor anybody she tries to be like.
Yeah. So, as her first duty as president, while talking with Grace, Zayday decides to throw a slumber party. Because at slumber parties, 2 things are guaranteed to happen. What are they, Priscilla?
Someone's gonna go lesbian and secrets come out? Like, truth or dare?
Exactly, yes.
It's lesbianism.
Yes, experimentation with lesbianism, and secrets are revealed, obviously. And so, Zayday wants the secret of the Red Devil's identity exposed. So she goes down and basically announces it to the girls. Some of them are against it. You know, what are we, 10? And some of them are for it. In particular, Chanel number 3. Or wait, who? I always get confused. Is it Chanel number 3?
Number 3.
Chanel number 3. Yeah, Chanel number 5 is Abigail Breslin.
It's earmuffs because it's her face and 2 earmuffs. 3. Chanel number 3.
There you go. And she's also Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Which might be an homage to that before. But I think they mentioned in, like, an interview that, like, they just tried the earmuffs on her and they liked it so much they made it like a statement, and later they gave, like, some sort of weird backstory, which we got this episode. So yay, a reason why she wears those earmuffs.
Exactly, which we'll talk about in a moment. But so they put it down to a vote, and the slumber party wins. But Chanel number 3 is adamant that they need to start the festivities with Spin the Bottle. because of course she wants to explore her feelings with Sam, aka Predatory Les. So before we get that, we do get a scene between Chanel number 3 and Predatory Les where she finally reveals the story behind her earmuffs. Basically, anyone who ever falls in love with her eventually goes mad, and her last boyfriend threatened to cut her ears off if he ever saw them again. So that's why she has to wear the earmuffs all the time. Across campus, the Dickie Dollar Scholars, they are having an intervention with Chad Radwell, basically saying that he needs to stop banging old ladies, aka older women, and he needs to focus on the young girls around campus. And this is where Chad Radwell finally decides that he needs to focus solely on Chanel, because she's gullible and her father's rich, very, very, very rich. Even though Denise Hemphill is pretty awesome in the sack, if you know what I mean.
And so was apparently the dean, but the dean was not having it with him, as we've seen like the first two times.
The dean was okay. Denise Hemphill though is the best.
We know it.
Yeah, she did some things. She just did some things.
Exactly.
She knew what she was doing.
Yes. And so our good friend, who's not suspicious at all, Earl Grey, knows that the Kappa Kappa Tau girls are having a slumber party, and so he's like that they should crash it and have a panty raid. So everyone says yes, and even Caldwell raises his shoulder in approval. And no, it's not Caldwell. It's Caulfield, right? Caulfield, yeah. Yes. He raises his shoulder in approval, and they all decide to head over to Kappa Kappa Tau for the panty raid. But before that can happen, the girls over at Kappa Kappa Tau realize that they have been locked in the house. Apparently, Chanel converted the 15,000 square foot home into a panic room after seeing the movie Panic Room, but not wanting a little shithole like Jodie Foster was in. She wanted space, even though Chanel number 5 was complaining about being in small spaces. And so she calls Chad, because she has a satellite phone given to her from Elon Musk, and the guys head over there. There was a nice little scene in the background.
Yeah, the background gag. I was like, did anybody see that? Because holy crap.
I focused on it.
To have Brother Caulfield like jump up and down trying to like jump off the sign and then fall and kind of wiggle around like a hot dog on the floor that you dropped.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, that was amazing. Job. This episode was like full of like little background gags.
Yeah, it really was. It was fantastic. And so, everything is locked. They're wondering how they can get in. They bring a ladder, and, we have Chad climb all the way up to the top. Chanel's all excited, and, she's like, oh, I will love you forever. And then he's like, hold up. Can you take that back before I save you? And then she's like, I will love you for an appropriate amount of time that you deem whatever.
And there was another background gag during this moment. If you look in the back, Candle Vlogger is chewing on like the giant like long-stemmed candle, like it's an ice cream cone or something. And Hester's just peering from outside, from like behind one of the things, like really menacingly. So I was like, these background gags are amazing this episode. They did a good job.
That's too funny. And what was funny about this is that he barely touched the window and it like shattered into like a billion pieces.
Frat boy power.
Exactly. One thing that we failed to discuss, and I'll mention it really quickly, before the guys show up and before the lights went out and all that kind of thing, they start playing Spin the Bottle. And that's where we have Hester kiss Candle Vlogger and Waxy and that kind of thing. And then finally we have Chanel number 3 and Predatory Les go full on make out in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now that the window's broken and we've caught up, we see the Red Devil. Oh no! And everyone starts climbing up. Everyone's able to climb except for...
Oh, Brother Caulfield. How the hell did they expect him to go up anyway? Like, shit.
He was hopping up. He was halfway up.
He was hopping up, yeah, it was working, and he was very brave, but all of a sudden the Red Devil got him, knocked down the ladder, and one hack, two hack to the stomach, and then bam, off with his head.
I seriously think that Red Devil is Boone because he used the axe kind of like a slicer in golf, just like rammed him like that. So I was like, that's interesting. I've seen that before.
Interesting. That's a good point.
But you
Very
remember,
good theory.
maybe that works. Never mind. I'll save my opinions for later.
So let's pause here for a second and just talk about everything that's happened so far.
The spin the bottle scene, like I'm like, you knew it was gonna happen, but I totally agreed with
Yeah.
like Chanel. Like, she's like, I don't understand why we're playing spin the bottle. There are zero wingers. Like, there's no guys.
Well,
What
it's
the
because
frick?
Chanel number 3 wanted to play.
But
Reroll.
you knew exactly why.
Yeah.
Respin. We get respin.
Yes, we do. Oh my god, those two kisses were like apropos then for that moment. And she finally found out what she felt for Sam, if she could feel. But
She
yeah,
could
Which she
feel,
can't. She learned that as a child, growing up, with rich parents.
but that's why she liked Sam, because Sam couldn't feel either.
oh, Sam pretends not to feel.
Well, so that
She was practicing in the mirror, like how to look
She was.
disinterested.
Chanel number 3 didn't get that.
You know, people actually do that. Like, I was like, what the
Um,
fuck? Really?
Absolutely. How you think I mastered my mean mug? You think I just mean on purpose?
Dude, it either comes naturally or not at all. That's how I have one.
Shout
Nope,
out to the
man.
mean mug.
Mine's best mean mug in the world, and I've mastered it. And it only took a mirror and some time.
People practicing their facial expressions. Aw, I miss Caulfield. Like, he got to like wave around like his little like chicken wings left of his arms today, only to say
I
goodbye.
still can't believe how that healed so fast.
The power
Yeah.
of money,
Yes.
of good money.
Indeed.
Did Earl Grey knowing about the slumber party, was that at all suspicious to people?
Absolutely. And the
Everything
fact that every
Earl Grey
time
does
something
is
popped up
suspicious.
after everything happened inside the house, he was never around.
Yes, he was. He was always with the
Not,
group.
not all the time.
I think he was. I think they made a point of showing everyone together, right?
Yeah, they
I
made a
feel-
point of showing everyone together, and he was dancing with Zayde.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was all
well.
cuddled up with Zayde at one point, too.
But I think the fact that he led the brothers there makes me think that he is one of the Red Devils. And they didn't really like assure whether or not there's two Red Devils this episode or one, because first they said maybe there's two and one was outside and one was inside, but then they realized that there's a passageway. So it might have always been one Red Devil and the other one is playing the game.
Yeah, it was with the group. That's what I think. I think it was only one Red Devil
I
in this
thought Earl was
episode.
I thought Earl was the Red Devil that liked Zayde, and that's why he couldn't do that mission this time, and that's why Zayde almost got killed.
Yep. That's what I think too.
But that would make the other one, Pete, who originally had a Red Devil costume anyways, and say he was the mascot, but Zayde or Grace sprayed the mascot, so
Damn, I
Just
hope he's not a Red
saying.
Devil because that
Just remember,
means Pete's on
we
for more
just said at the
episodes.
beginning- We just said from the beginning that we saw Dean Munch possibly meet with 3 Red Devils. Which
Yeah.
would mean
It is suspicious that Pete supposedly was the mascot, but yet he wasn't Coney.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Or
that means
that
Coney
somebody
was the
sprayed.
dude that was in the
The random Jewish
The
dude
Quickie
that was
Mart.
inside. That was inside.
Yeah, the fat kid Quickie Mart. That
No
got
way.
sprayed when he was wearing the first Red Devil outfit. Remember, that's why they had to change the mascot.
No. You're getting it wrong. Because Dean Munch just picked some random skinny kid because he's the only
he
one
fit
that
the
could fit in the
costume.
costume.
Yeah.
Oh. But that fat kid was in the original mascot. Why did Pete have the mascot costume in his closet if he wasn't the mascot?
Exactly, because
yeah.
there wouldn't be 2 mascots.
Exactly. Why would you hire 2 mascots for one school event? Like, that makes no sense. You're the Red Devil.
Apparently Pete was the mascot though. this other guy just had a Red Devil costume, and we know you can make them. They're
No,
pretty easy to make.
no. See, but then why would you change the mascot if the guy just had a random devil outfit?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You don't change the mascot unless the mascot got sprayed for being in the mascot outfit.
Ooh, theory.
Oh yeah, just fucked your minds.
I mean, we could have already solved who's the Red Devil as many times as this fool has been knocked unconscious.
I
Because
have no idea.
Jesus, stop and pull the mask off. Pull the mask
Exactly.
off.
No, it's very
Yeah.
true. But they never do that in horror movies. So
when you talk about Sam,
Yeah, I
though,
know.
Sam died knowing. She knew from the beginning.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in just a moment. So let's continue on with the recap, and now it's time for a deadly game of truth or dare. So remember the rules. If you pick truth, you gotta tell the truth. If you pick dare, most likely it means that you've got something to hide. So, and you're gonna look shady as hell.
You can't
So-
lie. That's the whole point of
But-
Truth or Dare. You
but-
can't
but-
lie.
But
I think
Candle
it's
Girl
like
was
lie.
like, well, you could lie, but pretend it's the truth. But then Chad was like, no, you can't lie because that's one of the rules.
Not
But
called
then
Truth or
Candle
Dare.
Girl was trying to like argue with him until Chad set her straight.
It's not truth, dare, or lie.
Exactly. And so, first off,
Was
we
this
had to
before
find
or after
out.
the lights went out?
Pardon?
This was after.
Was this
After
before or
the
after the lights went out?
After.
They had a shout out to another scary movie, which I was like, yay. What was it called? It's like 1997's like There's a Stranger in the House, and someone calls like once the lights are shut off, and it's like, are the children safe? And that's the first thing Candle Vlogger said, like when the lights went off and they came like back on. Are
yeah.
the children safe?
Yeah, she did ask that. Yeah.
Horror movie shout out. Like whenever I see them, I'm just like, yes. All right.
Well, we also had another horror movie shout out with this when Chanel questioned whether Chanel number 5 had teeth in her vagina or still had teeth in her vagina. There's a movie out there called Teeth. So
Yeah.
watch
True
it
for-
if you want to be
true
forever
for dare.
traumatized.
Is it true that you have teeth in your vagina? No.
Is it true that you had?
Had teeth. No, so you had teeth in your vagina and you just don't have them there anymore. Yo, she was a fucking con artist for that. I was like, you little bitch.
It was fantastic. And one thing we didn't mention is that Chad confessed all his sexual escapades to Chanel with the Dean and Denise Hemphill.
What was it like?
Yeah.
That is not a rampant lie. That is a rampant truth, or some shit like that. And I was just kind of like, Chad has no shame in his game. Like he just straight out agreed. I liked it. Any episode with more Chad is like pluses like on the grade.
Yeah, it was
So-
fantastic. And so
Yeah,
next up, we had Sam. She selected Truth, and basically she's asked to reveal Chanel number 3's biggest, deepest, darkest secret. And so, worried that her feelings for Sam would be spilled, Chanel 3 blurts them out, just as Sam reveals that number 3 is Charles Manson's daughter. 2 truths for the price of 1, apparently. And so number 3 is furious at Sam for the betrayal. Chad says, so you got to be the killer. If not, you consider it because you'd probably be good at it. And so Chanel number 3 asks truth or dare to Sam. Sam is like, I already went. Chanel number 3 is like, I don't care. And so Sam picks dare. And she is dared to go take a nap in the bathtub in the Kappa Kappa Tau's secret room where all of the secrets are stored. Yes, and that's when Chanel number 3 tells her that the only feelings that she has for Sam now are rage and pissed offedness.
And at that point, I'm just kind of like, hear those bells? That marks your funeral. Like, you have no more connection to any of like the characters that are important, and they're like dooming you to be like by yourself. They're splitting you up. So you're dead. Bye. And sure enough, that bathtub got like refilled with dead person.
Exactly. Before that happened, in an interesting twist, everyone decided to take a break from the game, and we had Chad plug in his iPhone and play the douche playlist, and the first song that came up was Tub Thumping.
Oh
Mm.
shit! You're right. Holy crap! I didn't get that. That was awesome.
Wow.
Yes. So sorry. Sam goes downstairs and she's there for a couple minutes. You know, she's like, if anybody's there, don't jump out at me because that creeps me out. And she gets into no, she's about to get into the tub. She's looking down. She's like, "Is that blood?" And she gets hit on the head, sort of somewhat knocked out-ish by the Red Devil. The Red Devil places her in the bathtub, and she's like, "No, before you kill me, I need to see who you are." And so the Red Devil takes off the mask, and she's like, "I knew it was you. I knew it was you all along." And then all of a sudden, she gets a plastic bag over her head and suffocates. Now, here's my thing.
Hmm.
Were her arms tied? Because why couldn't she just poke a hole?
I think she might have had a concussion.
So
And
you
if she was
can't
like,
move
she
your
got-
arms if you
well,
have a
no, like
concussion?
you feel super heavy, like you can't get up,
Okay,
and they tell you not to. So
Well, if
I
you're
have
fighting
no
for your
idea.
life, wouldn't you just poke a hole? No,
Or
maybe.
bite the
Bite?
yeah, to get some place in it. I don't know. Maybe like they pushed it like super on their head. I am not a killer. I have no idea. So I'm just
Me
like
neither.
I'm just spitballing here.
Yes, but let's just say rest in peace, Predatory Les. So let's
Oh,
pause right here and let's discuss everything that's happened and, of course, the death of Predatory Les.
he's got a playlist called Douche. Oh my god.
At least we know
Yes.
she's not a killer.
Does that maybe mean that he knows something about it? Because that song was very, very, very apropos. If it is called Tub Thumping.
Yeah, it is. It's Chumbawamba, tub thumping. I get knocked down and I get up again.
So, but I remember talking about this to somebody else, and they were just kind of like, Chad is unable to not say any, like, to not have his mouth open and like spill anything, and he's not able to be like, to not tell the truth. Like, he says it all the time. So if he
Yeah,
was
he's
a
got
Red Devil,
verbal
he would
diarrhea.
have, yeah, he would have shouted it from the rooftops. So it probably isn't him. Still,
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I think it's just happenstance.
mhm.
But it is funny nonetheless.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Aw, I felt so bad. I was like, damn it, why couldn't they kill Candle Vlogger? Or another one of the Dicky Dollar
Yeah,
sellers. There's a
I
ton of
I
them.
really definitely wanted them to keep Predatory Les or Sam for a bit more.
I like Candle Vlogger. Leave her alone. She's coming up soon, though.
Oh, great.
She has to.
I
We're not going to
think
keep her till the end.
I see, but now that they kept her, I'm at this point where they might as well just fucking turn her into a big candle.
I hope that that's what they do, and they light her on fire or something.
Yes. Make her happy,
Awesome.
like right before she dies.
No, get her like stuck in a room and just fill it up with wax and just stuck in a jar.
Like the Wax Room, the scary movie.
Yeah,
They're
something like
totally
that,
gonna
yeah.
pull that. Now that you're
House
saying
of
that.
Wax.
Yeah.
She'll be the Paris Hilton character.
Oh shit.
I can rock with it.
Yeah.
I like watching Paris die. I was a big fan of Paris at the time, but I loved watching her die.
Come on, everybody watched that shitty movie because they're like, watch Paris die. I think that was one of even the ads when it was coming out. Watch her die.
But I
So
love
people
Paris
paid good
Hilton,
money to see that.
and I paid to own it so I could watch her die multiple times. I just like Paris Hilton. It's pretty, and she's dying, so it's like a win-win.
What do we think of her quote-unquote deathbed confession, or not confession, but realization? I knew it was you. I always knew.
It makes me kind of want to go back to like the last episodes and think of like who the
She
hell
kinda
she.
suspected.
Yeah. Who did she suspect?
Well, why didn't nobody ask who she suspected? Maybe somebody
Did that happen? I thought for
No.
sure that she mentioned before like who she thought the Red Devil was. That it could be this.
Maybe it was
So-
her alibi.
Alabama buddies.
Alabilla buddy.
Yeah,
They
that's
they
it.
sound like some sort of fruit snack now that you take with your lunch. But in any case, there's nobody left anymore, which is why like Chanel had to hook up with the other Chanel. Like I feel once you don't have a partner in this, once you don't have like anyone backing you up and you're by yourself, you die. So I'm kind of glad that Chanel number 3 and Chanel number 5 are ganging up together because I like both of those characters a lot and I want them to stay alive.
Yeah, I'm growing to really like Abigail Breslin as Chanel number 5. Her
Yeah, I
reactions are
didn't like her at
perfect.
first,
And I
but
love that Chanel just like vehemently attacks her with like the most insane stuff like nobody cares about you, get the fuck out of here, and your breath stinks. And I'm like what the hell? So it's fantastic. So moving on into the rest of what's going on, we have Hester trying to make moves on Chad, and she's trying really hard to get all over Chad Radwell, but basically he thinks that she's too crazy, even though he feels that, being with her would be the best ever, being like, Space Mountain levels of fun.
But like that, it really is true. Like that's what everybody thinks. Like the crazier the person is, the better the sex is. And Hester's crazy as shit. Oh my god, her
Yeah,
henchback cats.
but
she's off the fucking.
but you might wake up and find your dick in the jar.
Oh yeah, that's what he's. Holy shit! I cracked up at that. Oh my god, his pickle in a pickle
Yeah.
jar.
Yeah, like you'd probably be the greatest sex ever, but you're like a praying mantis. I might wake up with my dick in the jar. I'm set.
I definitely rocked out this time. So go ahead,
Exactly. So Chanel comes in and saves him from Hester, and she goes all crazy behind Chanel's back, which was fantastic. And so there is when Chad decides to give it a shot with Chanel, and this is where Chanel gets the idea to stop playing Truth or Dare, no matter what everyone's trying to do, find the killer, and it's time to play 7 Minutes in Heaven. And she decides to go first with her boyfriend, Chad Radwell. And in the closet is where they decide on monogamy. There's even a pinky swear and everything.
A pinky pledge.
Pinky
'Cause
pledge.
they're
Because of
Catholic.
course, Chad loves that Chanel is gullible, and her father's very rich. And so
Gross rich.
yes, those are two things that he really loves.
By the way, little shout out before that. Give it a rest, Nancy Drew, and Emma Roberts played Nancy Drew. I was like, yay! You'd be a much better Nancy Drew than Grace is.
That's too funny.
In any case, though, I'm kind of glad that Chad and Chanel are now together.
For the time being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she deserves it.
And so after that, number 5 and Roger take to the closet next. And, we have Roger and number 5, starting to hook up together. And, obviously Dodger passed away in the maze last week. And so, unfortunately, poor, Roger doesn't have anybody to do his click language with. Remember, 2 high clicks means like hello, 2 low clicks means I want some ice cream. Unfortunately, we didn't learn
No,
any.
it was, dude, that ice cream was good.
Oh, there
Three-
you go.
3 clicks was the ice cream was good. That's why there's 3 nail guns, like 3 things like shot in his head.
Okay, there you go. Well, there were more than 3. But yes, one of the Red Devils pops out and shoots him first with 3, and then he ended up looking like Pinhead.
Yeah. Oh God, I was dying that time. I was just like, oh my God, poor Chanel. Her reaction shots are perfect.
Yep, and the weird or interesting or funny or confusing thing is that the killer leaves number 5 unharmed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrorizing them. Like he's picking them off one by one, and it makes you more scared. I think
Yes.
that's why he's doing it. I honestly don't think he's protecting Chanel number 5 in any way. I just think it makes it more fun to take them out one by one.
Maybe the second Red Devil has a crush on Chanel number 5, like other Red Devil had a crush on Zayday.
Well, I doubt it because Boone
Nah.
is gay.
Yeah.
What about
But you
Pete?
never know.
Maybe Pete's just looking for tail.
Well, there you go. So at the same time as that's going on, Hester has discovered Sam's body in the tub. So now we have total official body count at 3. And when the gang reunites with number 5 after some accusations and Chad Radwell poking predatory Les. Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
He picked up like a poker or something and was like poking her body.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. When they reunite with number 5 and the now deceased Roger in the closet, they discover a secret passage that must serve as the killer's entry point in and out of the house. And so everyone was like, let's go down, but Chad Radwell does not do cobwebs and spiders and that kind of thing. So everyone stays there except for Chanel and Zayde. They decide to investigate, and it turns out to be an ornately designed hall of Kappa presidents past that was completed by a former Kappa sister, and there's popular presidents, people that have banned music, and people that introduced cocaine into Kappa Kappa Tau. Great accomplishments like that. And as the co-presidents contemplate what their own legacies might be, bam, the Red Devil appears with 2 axes this time around, because 2 axes are better than 1. And Zayde trips. She tries to flee, but then all of a sudden, bam, she gets cornered by the Red Devil. She does all these different gymnastics routines, but finally the Red Devil has her stuck basically in a corner between both axes. But then Chanel comes back to her rescue, smashing a light fixture onto the Red Devil's head, and they escape into the night through a manhole. So before we pause, since there's only very little that happens next, it's the following morning, or the following day, and all the adults are there, minus our homegirl, Denise Hemphill. And I know. And
Gigi.
oh yeah, Gigi's not there either. And they're cleaning up the mess and sort of figuring out what's going on. Our candle girl basically disses the police force of the town, which was fantastic. Wes tries to pull Grace out of school. Finally we have a voice of reason, but she's not having that. She has to be there for her sisters. Zayde sticks up too, saying, you're not gonna take her out of here. Candle Vlogger comes by, but she wasn't really there to support her. She had just farted, and it was a really bad one.
Carpet bombing the entire house.
Yes. And upstairs, while all this is going on, Chanel number 3 and number 5 make a pact that they will outlive Chanel because they've lost their loves. Number 3 lost predatory Les, and number 5 lost not 1 but 2 people that would like her, and 2 people that look exactly alike that like her.
Roger and Dodger, or Roger or Dodger.
Yes. Who knows? And speaking of Chanel, she's brought the entire house gifts, pink nunchucks, and Kappas don't take crap from anyone anymore, she says. So they decide that they are going to find the Red Devil and make the Red Devil pay. But before that, how every Oakland slumber party ends is a dance party. And apparently in Oakland, they dance to I Stop the World and Melt With You, 80s new wave. Who knew?
Chanel number 3 licks her nunchaku, and I was just like, "What the hell? What are you doing?" Last little background gag that I was I
thought that was funny too, because she was like, "They're not food," and I'm like, "What? Why would any of them think they were like food?"
They're all bedazzled and shit. Like, why?
And
then again, these are the girls that eat packing peanuts and like cotton balls. Like, to them, like stuff that is probably food.
And laxative, because all in their refrigerator is laxatives and fucking watermelon, friggin' wine coolers.
Yes.
Such a college thing.
So, are we gonna drop a 40, or spill a little bit of a 40 for our homie Roger? No.
Aww.
I wish he died.
And his click
Dodger.
language.
I wish he would have died with Dodger.
I like that he died here, because like then we get like a whole Hellraiser thing going on, like with all the pins over his head. I liked that. If we get a variation of deaths, it's funnier. It's better. There was only one person that died all freezing and weird in The Shining, so in this one, to have him be another, like an homage to another scary movie, I liked. Split him up. Kill him. I like it. Makes for a more interesting show.
Now
Yes.
Son.
Any other final thoughts on the episode as a whole? 3 deaths, everybody.
Right after the episode aired, they had a Niecy Nash dishes 15 set secrets you didn't know about the cast of Scream Queens. And there was something a little interesting about the whole Chad talk with like, I screwed like Denise Hemphill. Apparently they had like they improv a lot, and they filmed a sex scene together that never made it into the show.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Well, it might still. You never know. Flashback.
That's true.
Right? Because I'm
But oh my
like,
god, now I want to buy like the DVD just to see like how fucking funny they would make that.
awkward is sex scene probably ever. Like, because she even said he was awesome too. Oh my god, yeah, that'd probably be the most awkward, like, sex scene ever.
But Nisi wasn't in this episode, but like she had a little behind the scenes in Fox, and she gave a whole bunch of she spilled a whole bunch of tea. Like it was interesting,
And
but it's all
for
behind the
nothing,
set stuff, so nothing spoilery. It's just stuff that they do behind the set and like on takes and stuff. It was cute.
and honestly, I think I like that they were able to still keep it funny without having Niecy Nash, because I thought she was all the humor at a point. So no, like they all have their moments, but when it really comes down to it, I feel like she owns the humor. Like, when you see her, it's gonna be funny. And if you see her in every episode, you're like, oh, okay, I'm guaranteed to laugh at least with Niecy Nash. But they were able to, still deliver the comedy.
That's how I feel with her and Chad. Like if any of them are in the episode for like more than just one line, it makes me happy. If it's just like a Grace and Pete episode, I'm like, okay, let me put like my alarm on just so it wakes me up.
Oh, poor Grace.
Yeah, no, but they are kind of lame. Like, they could spice it up a bit, but I feel like that's the type of characters that girl Grace played. The girl playing Grace gets. Like, she gets those, like, homely.
I like her and
daughter.
Zayday. I think they have good chemistry. Maybe more
Yeah.
than
They have
her and
good
Pete.
chemistry, but I feel like it's more based off of Zayday. I feel like Zayday's a stronger character than Grace.
Yeah. Grace,
Like,
like
just the whole
she's like
personality.
the milk of people. Like she's just very plain. There's like nothing to her taste wise, but you add her into everything because she needs to be there. She's the main character, but that's it.
Pretty
Like
mu-
she's really boring.
Yeah, pretty much. Just because she's the main
I'm
character,
gonna
you
start
have to put her.
using that. She is the milk of people.
She's like the wallflower. If you put them all in the room, you're like, oh, Grace like falls in the shadows. You're like, oh, where's Chanel number 3? Like you specifically look for certain characters, and Grace isn't one of them.
Mm-hmm. She is
Ain't
not
nobody looking for you, Grace. Ain't nobody looking for you. You ain't nothing, boo boo.
Not even the Red Devil gives a shit.
Right? He hasn't even chased your whack ass. He went after Zayday before he went after Zayday twice before he even chased after you once.
Which again makes me think the dean promised that she wouldn't get hurt, and her dad's really overprotective of her. There has to be a reason why Grace hasn't been knocked off.
No,
or even,
because
like,
Gigi is in charge of the Red Devils, and she's fucking Grace's dad.
That's true. Which means, I get that.
Shout out to Gigi.
Shout
Good
out
job,
to
Gigi.
Gigi's pussy saving Grace's life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
Power of the
grief.
pussy. Power of the pussy.
Power of the PUSSY, yeah. Okay, so let's move into our campus superlatives, and this time around I want to do things a little bit differently because there was a sneak peek in the trailer, or the promo I should say, for the next episode. We're going to have a funeral. There's a pink casket, so obviously it has to be a Chanel. Who do we think is in the casket? Is it a Chanel that's already died? Or are we at a funeral for another Chanel? Because we do see OG Chanel Oberlin, lean into the casket and say basically something like, you got what you deserved, or this is for you trying to betray me, or something like that. So, who do we think is in the casket? I want to hear your theories. Who it is, and why do you think they're in there?
I'm gonna go with Chanel number 5, but she's not dead. That's why Chanel spoke into the coffin, because Chanel's not gonna try to lose any more bodies, and she's not gonna let nobody die on her watch. So I think it's more of like a lesson to learn, like, bitch, don't cross me again.
I think they're finally interring Chanel number 2, and that's why, like, they have like, the fluffy pink coffin. Because, Predatory Les doesn't want, like, something like that. So I'm thinking it's Chanel number 2, actually. And I caught the hint of like her giant-ass ponytail, so it might be her.
I was going with Chanel number 2 as well, just because it wouldn't make sense to knock anybody else off and then have a funeral all in the exact same episode. And like I said, like she said, I didn't see anybody from this episode that would really fit the pink coffin and all the other stuff. So I'm going with Chanel number 2 as well.
Yeah, I think I am going to agree with the majority. I think it's Chanel number 2, and I think once I read the actual synopsis of the episode, well, maybe it might make sense because I think she's going to find Chanel is going to find something out about Chanel number 2, and maybe that's what leads her to
That's
say
your
what she
fucking
says.
Chad.
Or something like that. It could be something like that, or maybe even something worse. So, while we're discussing spoilers, actually jump into our spoiler section. It's time to get a little spoilery. Let's dive into some spoilers for upcoming episodes of Scream Queens. This
Put
is
your
an official.
earmuffs you don't want to hear.
Exactly. This is an official spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Scream Queens will be taking a break from airing. There will not be a new episode on Tuesday the 27th because of the World Series. So as of right now, it's tentatively scheduled to return on November 3rd. So obviously we will not have a new episode next week either because we won't have an episode to cover. So the episode that will air on November 3rd is titled Beware of Young Girls, and there is an official synopsis for the episode. And here it is. Dean Munch confronts her past on an all-new Scream Queens. Dean Munch is left in a desperate situation when a shocking event leads her to come face-to-face with her ex-husband's mistress. Meanwhile, in an attempt to determine who the Red Devil is, the Kappas use a Ouija board to communicate with Chanel number 2 from beyond the grave and learn of a wicked plot against one of their own.
I knew about the ex-husband's piece on the side because I'd seen casting scoops of that before. So I'm pleased at who they picked as the young woman that Munch's husband left her for.
Yeah, as far as the guest cast, besides our usual players, Chanel number 2 obviously is returning. We're going to meet the mistress. Her name is Feather McCarthy. We're going to meet Munch's ex-husband, Stephen Munch. Our Candle Girl, Jennifer, is back, as well as Detective Chisholm, who got read for filth by Candle Girl.
Hope she
Maybe
doesn't
he
shoot
comes
his
back for
face this
more.
time. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's pretty much all that we know that's upcoming. I do have ratings information. Scream Queens was viewed by 2.6 million total viewers, with 1.0 in the key demographic of 18 to 49, and it went up in audience and steady in the demo.
Nice. I'm glad. Needs to stay on. It needs a second season. I want to see another Scream Queen enter the fray.
I do too, but I think this should have been an FX show. This should have been an FX show from the beginning.
I think, quite honestly, FX, when you're there, you get a whole bunch of you control it. You can put a ton of fucking shit there that's more, I don't know, more violent and more sexualized, and that's fun. But sometimes it's cool to see something controlled, to see something that you have to figure a way to say stuff like a group of slits.
Yeah.
And
no, exactly.
So I like the fact that it's in Fox.
I agree with that.
I love how they have.
But for this type of show, for it to be a hit, if it received these numbers on FX, it would be a hit and it would be guaranteed to come back for a second season. Because it's on Fox and it's on a broadcast network where the standards of ratings are on a much different scale. On basic cable, the numbers can be very low, but as long as they're consistent, that will be the key to its renewal. On broadcast networks, you kind of have to have really good 18 to 49 demo for it to be renewed. And I don't know right now if they would renew it. Sometimes they do renew low-rated shows if it's critically acclaimed, if it's got a strong fan base. I know that it does seem to do pretty well when live plus DVR ratings are factored in, but is it enough for it to get renewed? I mean, I don't know. I guess they're going to have to speak with Ryan Murphy, see what he pitches to them, see which big stars they can get and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that the numbers aren't phenomenal for Fox. If it was on FX, the numbers would be fantastic, you know?
How much was it again? Was it like a 0.9 or?
It's a 1.0 in the key demographic, which
Oh, a 1.0 is
compared.
fine.
Well, it depends. It depends. If you want to compare it to other network shows that are on opposite of it, as far as hour-long dramas, it is the lowest.
Crap.
Yeah, because comparing it to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it got a 1.5. NCIS over, well, S.H.I.E.L.D. is on ABC. NCIS over on CBS, 2.2. Also on CBS, NCIS New Orleans, 1.6. Limitless, 1.4. Also on CBS. On the CW, we have Flash with 1.4. iZombie with 0.5. So it's beating iZombie. It's
but
losing
who
to
doesn't
Agents
beat
of
it?
S.H.I.E.L.D.
CW keeps everything. Like you don't even have to like compete it
That's
against
what I'm
anything
saying.
else. Like
I'm
the
like, who
CW
doesn't
keeps
beat
the
the
useless
CW?
shows sometimes.
Well, no, sometimes it cancels the ones that do really bad. And over on NBC, the only hour-long drama that they have is Chicago Fire at 10 p.m., which is 1.6. So out of the hour-long dramas, it is the lowest of the nights. It's not the
Okay.
lowest show. Let me see, what else? The Grinder on Fox, which is right before Scream Queens, has a 0.9. So
Yeah.
that one's
Okay.
probably not going to make it
I
too
think
long.
I think it's because they have like a shit thing, like a shit lineup, like where it's supposed to be. Like it's really hard to compete with
It is because you have
Zombie
Ratchet.
Shield. Like it's just a different feel for the show. Like everybody that's in that demographic is already watching stuff that has been continued. Scream Queens,
Yeah,
like the new kids.
that's why this should
Absolutely.
be on FX,
I
because this should be a 10 o'clock show.
Well, see, the issue I can tell you right now is like you have other shows like Ratchet shit that I can tell you right now that most of the youth demographic are watching, like Bad Girls Club, that moved from 8 to 9, which would conflict with Scream Queens. But what the great thing is, Bad Girls Club ended and Scream Queen is still going on. Plus, Ariana Grande is coming back, which will bring a couple of her fans on. And then Nick Jonas will be back, which will bring a couple of his fans back on. So hopefully, with that all going on, shit should go pretty well.
Yeah, Ryan
We'll
Murphy has a
see.
pretty good rapport with Fox. I'm pretty sure they're like guaranteeing him like, hey, if this goes like mildly well, we'll let you have another season.
Yeah, and I don't think they're not gonna finish off the season at least. So it's not like how some shows they'll just pull it off the air.
They
So
reordered though. Like it used to be 8 episodes, and they've ordered up until 15 episodes. So
no, it's always been 15 episodes.
really,
Yeah, it's always been a 15 episode season.
okay, damn,
We're on episode what?
we're
They're
on
gonna be
episode.
15 episodes of Scream Queens. We're
No,
almost
what
halfway through the
episode?
season.
Oh, okay.
We're on episode 6.
All right. Oh, damn. Well, then, yeah. So hopefully, like I said, but a lot of shows go. Some of the shows are, going on breaks and taking pauses already. That might help. And then, with the guest stars coming back, maybe when they're promoting for their fans, because, they're, scheduled to promote when they're back on, that might help.
Yeah, I hope so. More Niecy Nash, more Nick Jonas, more Ariana Grande.
Right? Like more bigger names, because Abigail Breslin, yeah, she's a big name if you know Little Miss Sunshine. If not, then she's nobody.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so is the rest of the cast. Oh, except for Keke Palmer. That bitch is stacked. That bitch
Well-
is layered. The black community loves that woman. She needs to release her new single right now.
Well, Tavi Devinson's coming as Feather McCarthy, so like a lot of people follow Tavi since
Oh, yeah.
since Style Rookie. So I'm looking forward to that. They might draw more people in.
Right? And I'm like I said, next season, let's get Sarah Michelle Gellar. We'll be good.
Yes. Buffy, come back. Or The Ring, if you want to take it that way. But I'd rather see it as Buffy.
Yes. So on that note, remember, we'll be taking a break next week, so join us in 2 weeks for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid? Scream Queens. Visit poppychuloradio.com/archives to download this episode and many more. Registered users will gain access to our archives of previously aired broadcasts. Please like us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/PCRAreYouAfraid. You can also like Papi Chulo Radio the station on Facebook by going to facebook.com/Papi Radio. You can email us with any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns at contact@PapiChuloRadio.com. Co-hosts, can you please wish the listeners a good night?
Good
Night.
night.
We're gonna
Good
have
night.
the whole.
Remember, third time's a charm.
And if
We're
you
gonna have
see
that
red,
random dance now at the very end.
right? And if you see red, you're most likely dead.
Exactly. A small note for those out there that might want to catch up with Scream Queens, the actual show. FX will be airing a Scream Queens Halloween marathon featuring the first 6 episodes of its freshman season on Saturday, October 31st from 6 p.m. to midnight. So enjoy that on Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. And join us on Sunday, November 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid? Scream Queens. Good night, everyone. Happy Halloween.
Deuces.